Stan Gibilisco here with just a little bit of a view. I promised, I didn't promise, but I told you a couple days ago when I made the video of my antenna, in particular describing the base right there, which has the 50 picofarad capacitor loading the 22-foot aluminum mast made of, mast. The radiating element made of aluminum tubing from Texas Towers. You can buy it in telescoping sections that telescope perfectly. You don't need to make any slots or anything, and then you can just wrap a little bit of duct tape at the point where you want the smaller section to stop sliding into the bigger one. Just wrap it around until it's as big around as the next lower section is, and all the way, I guess you can't quite see all the way up to the top. Well, I told you, it was sunny and 70 degrees or so the other day. Well, it is no longer sunny, and of course, you can probably surmise it is no longer 70 degrees. This is the view I get out of my writing studio when there's been a little bit of snow like this. When the trees are all pasted with the stuff, that's when it really looks cool. It's too bad about those utility wires. They kind of put a crimp in the view, but otherwise, as for what there is to do here in South Dakota, one of my venerable subscribers who disliked one of my I shot off at the mouth, and he really put me in my place there about that. He told me he didn't think. He said, "What's there to do in South Dakota besides cow tipping and talking turd?" Well, of course we can talk turd here in South Dakota, but as for cow tipping, I had to figure out what that was. No such thing. There's a deer down there. See the deer? We got a lot of those things around here. One time when it was really, there it goes, up my driveway. One time we had a deer, it was 100 degrees outside, and I was walking up my driveway, which is right down there under the deck. I was walking up my driveway. There's a woodshed in there underneath the deck. Actually, it's underneath the dining room. And there was a buck deer in there with great big antlers and everything, and it bolted out of that woodshed as I came up the driveway. If I'd have been driving up that driveway, I don't know why I decided to park and then walk, because usually I drive into the garage. So if I'd have been driving up that driveway, I reckon I would have been one of the first South Dakotans to hit a deer in his garage with his vehicle. Now we can do that in South Dakota too. We can hit deer with our vehicles in our garages. There's the deer, right down there by the mailbox. Anyhow, what's there to do in South Dakota besides cow tipping and talking turd? Well, right over in that direction, I don't know if you can see it from here. Well, it's right over there in that direction, generally east, is the Homestake Underground Laboratory, the Sanford Underground Laboratory, where they look at particles from outer space, neutrinos in particular, which penetrate the Earth, but other cosmic particles can't get down there, so they can see the neutrinos or detect them. They do other experiments. Well, I guess if you're a highfalutin international physicist, wants to come to what we hope will be the American equivalent of CERN, the Swiss laboratory, something like that. If you want to come do some experiments and research in the underground laboratory here, I guess there's that to do here in South Dakota besides cow tipping and talking turd. And then also, there's plenty of winter sports out there: snowmobiling, skiing, hiking, even mainly in the summer, but even in the winters, cross-country skiing, and of course, eating some of the best hamburgers on earth in a place about 2 miles down the road from my house, generally in that direction, called Lewie's. Lewies, Lewies. If ever there was a biker joint, Lewies is it. Anyway, there's the antenna, there's the snow. Doesn't seem to affect the standing wave ratio at this point, as I demonstrated in another little presentation. With that, stand Jibilisco, W1GV, Whiskey 1, Golf Victor signing off. Come visit Leeds, South Dakota. Have the best hamburgers this side of the international date line. Aloha.